Hello YouTube friends, Dr. Teresa here again. In the last video I talked about how I had to upgrade the fish tank, showed a little bit about the filtration system, and talked about the problems with keeping healthy water parameters. The tank is much more stable using the 10-gallon. That 10-gallon is sitting on the stand that I originally had the 2-gallon on, and you can see below I have half-gallon long tank, and I just recently acquired some Copepods. I wanted to get Copepods for two reasons. One, it's going to offer a more balanced or complete nutrition to the seahorses, but it also is they're closer to the type of food that they would eat in the wild. They don't normally eat brine shrimp in the wild. This arrived in a priority mail package. It was wrapped inside of foil. It's been in the mail for a couple of days. I let the package sit on top of the little tank, maybe for an hour. Then I put the package inside the tank. I took a half-gallon about of aquarium water from the seahorse tank so that there's some seasoned water added, and I'll be using the little sponge filter that's sitting there. Excuse me, I'm trying to juggle. I just want to show you this sponge filter that I got. Let me dock my camera here so I can show you the sponge filter. I originally got this for the Copepods. I'm opening up the package now. It's a little hard to see. And I loved it so much, I thought, oh, I'm going to use that as the filtration for the tiny tank. And then, of course, after that, I was having problems. So basically, it is a weighted stand. It looks like it's plastic, and it's very dense at the bottom, so it doesn't float. And the pieces here that come with it are a hose, and on the ends of the hose are an adapter. Those adapters, because this is a mini hose, it's smaller than the standard airline tubing, those adapters fit on your air pump, which is not included, and also they will fit if you plan to use an adapter to adjust the flow, which also comes with in the box. And basically what happens is you attach your little hose or adapter onto the filter here. At some point you're going to put on this piece so that the bubbles rise up in an upward direction. And once you plug it into an air pump, you're in business. And you can see from the Dwarf Seahorse tank how it's functioning. So what I'm going to end up doing is taking the one in the Dwarf Seahorse tank and moving it into the tiny tank for the Copepods, since it's been sitting in there for a little while, and it has probably started developing some colonies of nitrifying bacteria, and it will help keep the tiny tank stable. Let's see if we can take a look at the Copepods. This has been sitting in Dwarf Seahorse tank water. I'm trying to acclimate them, and I'll be adding another another scoop of water from my half-gallon tank down there. But I want to see if I can show you the Copepods inside. I wonder if they'll show up. You can, when it's not on video, it's a little hard to see. You should see movement. It's probably not showing up very well on video, but in the light, under normal conditions, I can see the little creatures moving around in there. There's several different species. And what my plans are is to provide a supplement for the seahorses, but I don't want to put the whole dose into the seahorse tank. What I want to do is take some very porous rocks, put those inside of the Copepod tank, and what will happen is they're going to start colonizing these rocks. And I'll demonstrate this when it's ready, but this will be great for when I go on vacation, for example, and someone's helping to care for seahorses, in addition to brine shrimp feedings. What we can do is take one of the rocks from the Copepod tank, put it in the seahorse tank for a couple of days, and then when it looks like the seahorses are done picking on it, or the copepods have moved out of this and into other areas like maybe sponges or the other rocks that are in there, then we can take this out of the tank, put it back in the Copepod tank, and then grab another rock. So I have a couple of different rocks. They're all very porous, and they are going to be in there just for that purpose. I'm going to be feeding the Copepods my own version of green water, and I'll show that in a separate video. It's quick, it's easy. Again, this is all one big experiment to see how it works. But basically, this is my setup. On the top, I have a 10-gallon tank displaying the seahorses very nicely, and on the bottom, I basically have my cultures. My hatching station on the left for the 1 or 2 times a week that I need to hatch out brine, and on the right I'll have a supply of copepods that will grow and won't become depleted because I'll never introduce all of them to the seahorse tank at one time. The nice bonus is if some do escape and move into other areas like sponges or some of the rock work that's in there, at night they'll help clean up the bottom of the tank, which will be a nice little help also. So that's where I am on my Dwarf Seahorse journey. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm having so much fun with this, and I can't wait to start showing you more about the seahorse antics. Take care.